Okay, I'm just right back. I wanted to check because my mom is in a massive state because she got a message from her sister this morning. Her sister's in Texas. I don't know what the news is in Texas. I don't know what they're doing to these people. I really just don't get it. The stuff that has been going on is just, it's so maddening. But anyway, her sister is panicked because my mom has not gotten one of these yet. And the new Delta is mass murdering, the rest of the population that was left from the other one. It's like, why don't I know any of these dead people then? Where are they? Are they just phantoms? Are they the ones that voted for that guy? It's like, what? Where are the dead people? Like, where is the logic behind this, Like, seriously, you guys, look up what it was really like when a plague happens, when there really something comes through that starts really wiping people out. Look it up. Like, oh my God, it's so crazy. Like, how can someone just tell you something and you just believe it? Without even thinking. I just blew snot out my nose. But that's just, I was crying too. But I do have allergies all the time, so I'm a snot factory. Anyways, I was like, what the hell? Like, think about stuff logically. Like, look up what happens when, however you want to figure out your numbers. Remember, you're not supposed to go to the CDC anymore. You're only supposed to, I don't know. I mean, right now, Science magazine is saying, the government's lying about climate change. So, I mean, any of us who were using our logic and looking stuff up, we already knew this. And, any of the people that we try and tell, they just say, hey, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist and all this stuff. So it does you. I keep seeing a black spot. I don't know if it's makeup, but it's just like, so, when you just see like colors and shapes, like a different color, I don't know, maybe it's not even there. Who knows? Anyway, so, my mom's very, very upset. She can't even imagine that there's going to be an event that's going to happen. She thinks that we're locked into this situation. This is just the way it is. This is our new normal. I'm just like, no, Mom, this is the shift. This is, there's going to be an event. There's going to be the lights being turned on. Everyone gets this opportunity to see reality and to make that real decision of which direction you really want to go. I mean, right now you have all these people who are freaking just, walking down that road, 1942 Germany, like they're just so proud and powerful. They're going to heal the world by taking out all of the extremists and stuff. Like, just like, oh God. No wonder history can repeat itself. Fucking look into some shit, people. Like, know what's happening. It's remarkable how little people, they said it, so it must be true. You gotta look into stuff. That's all I can say. Is that, if you're going around and you're trying to conquer the world, just know you'll go down in history as what we think of the Nazis now. That is what you'll be thought of in the future. I mean, sorry, but that's the truth. And that's and if you can't see it, use your brain and your eyeballs and your common sense, your critical thinking and your logic, and look into some stuff and start trying to understand, what happened during the plague, what happened during like the real illnesses. What was the one, Spanish flu? There's been significant ones that really did wipe people out. And people at that point. This isn't like this. Like, I don't know anybody who's been sick, especially nobody who's died. I was sick, my daughter was sick, but at the very beginning of the whole thing, And I knew other people who were sick, and it was just like, regular old flu season, and people got sick. And then all of a sudden it was like, what? Everybody's dying. Leave the hospitals. No one's allowed. We've got the sick to tend to. And then all of a sudden it's like TikTok, dance off between the hospitals. It's like, I thought they were busy. What's going on? They got time to do these elaborate dances in these dance competitions? Like, I thought we couldn't even go to the hospital because there's so many sick people. Like, I'm so confused. So, but people don't, I don't even know where they're getting this information. Now, I'm trying to plan this trip, and some of the roadblocks, if you don't have one of these passports, then you don't get to go. Hawaii, if you don't have one, you can't go. Oh, it just crossed my mind too. Because Jim Carrey, he's an anti, he was one of the people who spoke out a long time ago, because he was with Jenny McCarthy, who said that her child got autism from getting, so she was one of those people who was involved with getting the movement out there, like, look at the ingredients of what you are putting into your body, pay attention, don't trust them. And he was big in that, like, and people started saying, he was crazy then. And he has a place there. I would think then he couldn't, I don't know. I mean, are they going to just if you're there right now and they're general citizens, are they going to say, maybe they're just going to go door to door right now, huh? Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. That just all of a sudden came to me. Weird thought, like when someone has been very, and then there are places you're not allowed there unless you have one, like, ooh, like if you sell your house, I would. Honestly, I'm not, when we're planning these trips, there's a lot of places I want to go right now, and I know we're in the shift. I know this isn't like our new normal. So, I'll just wait it out because I know this is temporary. But it's just, it's shocking, that they could get away with this and people accept it because they fear their safety, their life, that they're willing to give up their freedom and other people's. And they're like, rights? Who needs rights? We got to fucking stay alive here. Like, I don't know anybody who's died. Sorry. So, one of the things too, I also wanted to talk about, and it had to do with yesterday when I was talking about, getting more in a running shape, just, you don't have to be a marathon runner, but at least be able to save your life, just like I said yesterday, when you see a herd of deer, you don't see any of them that are, 500 pounds. They would have been, the first one's gone. So it is survival of the fittest out there. And I'm kind of surprised. This is kind of, kind of weird to me, of how many women, young women, who have decided to represent themselves, like cut off all their hair and put some weird colors in it, maybe put a bunch of things hanging off of their face, and then short hair, change their clothes to be like I don't know, kind of slobby kind of dress, like no pride, like, just kind of a slobby, like that's how they want to represent what a woman is now, like they want to be like non whatever, all the stuff, but to think like that is you representing your best self, like, okay, so you want to be like kind of a man to represent your femininity, your best self, and so they don't want to capture that part of them. They want to pretend like that doesn't exist and then just pack on a bunch of pounds and then, to keep themselves safe from the world, because that's what weight actually symbolizes, is a buffer. It's actually, you're so wounded inside that just building walls inside wasn't enough. You had to start building walls outside because you had to protect yourself. And, so when I see these people, I see like super wounded people. But it is weird because it has that same disconnect of like, don't go out and say like this is a feminist reality, to try and become half man or something. If you need to find your balance, everybody gets to represent themselves however they want. That's fine. And I'm not talking about like that. If you are a girl who does feel more tomboyish, boyish, whatever, and you feel more at home in pants and a shirt than you do a dress, I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this shift, to claim Cardi B is a feminist movement when it's just gone back to say, hey, I don't mind being a prostitute. Like, I enjoy it. It's like that's our goal for the future girls. I don't know. It is that people, have got to start getting in touch with themselves internal and figure out what their wounds are, because the stuff that you're presenting doesn't make sense. That's not the society that can be productive and move forward. That just isn't. And there's just so many people that are just so confused. And after I had been talking about that, then yesterday, or the other day, no, it was, I think, the day before yesterday, I don't remember, whatever, a couple days ago, and I went to pick up groceries, and the girl who brought out my groceries, she was very overweight, and she wanted to go up, and Stella and Trixie were in the back barking their heads off because they love to bark. And we had gone to the dog park, so they were there, and they're barking their heads off, and the woman really wants to go up and touch them and stuff like that. She really wants to pet Stella, and she keeps saying, is she okay? And I'm like, yeah, she won't bite you. She's just a little barking, and she's just constantly warning. Especially when she's in the car and I'm standing by the car, she'll put her head out, like, because she's always guarding me, always. And so this woman, she was, super timid about going up to pet her. And Stella was being like over the top, like, like being more, seemed kind of like aggressive towards the woman. And it kind of scared the woman. And then she went back at the store. But she kept on, even when she went back around the car, she still was like, she really, really wanted to connect with this dog. And Stella seemed to be so like confused by her. And I was thinking, the thoughts that came to me this morning was that, that she didn't have that confidence in herself, and your weight will represent that a lot of times. It is that cushion between you and the world, your safety. And so then it can be like this kind of timid, like, I really want to touch you, but I'm kind of the way you come at the world. And because it's always, to protect oneself, I got to protect myself. The world is dangerous. Things will hurt me. I need this buffer around me so that, that I can be safe. And it's kind of like a life preserver. I told you, like, even when I've like come out of my body before, that kind of scary feeling it feels like when you go out. I think that's probably a part of the trauma of death or something, is just that leaving, the exiting the body is kind of like a little jolt. But it's scary there for a second because you're all of a sudden like, whoa, there's no boundaries. And so it makes so much sense for people to, when they're feeling vulnerable and not safe, to put a lot of weight on, and that right now in our society, it is pushed like that. They want you to gain weight, because they want you to, support their diets, support their, keep yourself sad, because hopefully then you'll go on some antidepressants. You'll get some other physical issues and they can medicate you then. So, there's a whole agenda to, keeping you unhealthy. And so, one of the things too is, when they have those shows where they have those weight loss shows, and I was talking about, like, I think that they kind of rush the people. I think there's a guy, he was a physical trainer, and he worked with a guy over, I think this was a year, and I think he documented it. I think that's a lot more safer. Like, some of these people, I don't know how fast they do them. I never really have been into watching those shows. I've been someplace where they've been on and I've seen a little bit of it. But I don't know how long that this exercise program to lose these like hundreds of pounds is. Maybe it is a year for everybody. I don't know. It just seems super, super fast and intense. And, but the whole thing is when the people start doing this, it's about their healing. It's about healing like these childhood wounds. It's about learning how to feel better about yourself and to feel confident in yourself and to feel safe and to not feel vulnerable. And so there's a lot of healing. If they weren't healing that stuff, they wouldn't be able to lose the weight. So it all is like linked together. That's why any of the stuff that I talk about with weight all has to do with healing. But we all have so much healing to do. There's all so many raw emotions that are happening right now for everybody. So much stuff is coming up. I'm just trying to help people look at something from a certain perspective, to share my perspective and get it out there so other people can have that to consider when they're making their own. I'm not trying to tell you how to live or what to do. I'm just giving you like my insight into how I see it. And so to me, that woman, it was her hesitance. It was her energetically, her not feeling confident is what got the reaction from Stella. Because if you don't know yourself, then how a dog has got to be reading this energy. They've got to pick up on like if you're safe or not safe. So Stella's got to go a little bit further. Like, I'm not sure about you. And I just really saw it so clearly, like certain things happen and then they show me like what it all means. I've had so many of those lately. I want to come right back because this one's already getting longer. But, I'm not trying to be hard on anybody who's got weight issues. I've got people in my family who struggle with their weight and stuff like that. And I'm just saying that it is the way our society has been established is what has caused a lot of people's weight issues. It is the misleading about us to us about our health and about how to stay healthy and take care of yourself, because that's not what their agenda has been. So I'm just trying to help get that information out there. So I hope I don't come across as I'm like trying to pick on somebody because they're overweight, because that's not it at all. I see everybody's got different ways of protecting themselves. And I do believe there's definitely souls that are very, very, not fragile, but we carry wounds from past lives. We don't just carry wounds from the beginning of this life and the times that we've had, we've been vulnerable and we've been hurt. There's other lives that those things have happened to. So souls come into this world being wounded with a veil over, with this like, if you get detached from yourself, you stop listening and you stop moving in a certain direction and you get caught up in this world. And then you get caught up in the illusion. And when you get caught up in the illusion, then you start having, signs that you're caught up in the illusion. And so that is, that's a sign. If you've put on a lot of weight, just look back historically at people. Humans have been around a while, and you can see, you know, I'll just be right back because this is getting long. Hold on.